Hey, greetings. This is Body-Culinary with a quick Loc Quickie for those people with fine Afro textured hair, those folks with really fine, delicate hair. Now, first of all, I want to say that I have had a major fiasco, right? So you live and you learn, hopefully, right? So I got this delicate, fine hair, not very thick at all, and I basically almost like destroyed my locks. I was thinking I might have to cut them. So, doing the most, as many of us sisters do. I took a recommendation from someone on YouTube. Yadi Lockologist says it all the time. And I found this really wonderful way to moisturize my hair because I don't like to use a lot of oil. And I did it several times because it was feeling really good to me, right? So it's basically you take like something that's a super no sulfate, all natural shampoo, one of the more expensive ones from the health food store, and you cut it half and half with oil. And the first couple of times I did it, my hair felt I have never felt my hair feel so much body and moist, and it just felt fantastic without oil. But I tried it, right? And this is why I love whole living foods, because the food talks to you and it communicates with you. So I call myself getting some flaxseed oil, which is very expensive here from a small place that sells health food things, products in it here in Central America. And the oil happened to be rancid. Now, many people may not be able to taste or feel the difference in oils. I have my hands in food and oils all the time, whether it's using, I put food on my face, and on my body. That's what I'm consuming. I don't really like to consume a lot of oil, at this point. But between flax oil, cold pressed coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, those things usually I'll use on my skin. So I will put that from time to time on my hair. And I've gone for more than a year with no oil on my hair, but I'm out in the garden a lot, right? Real life. So in the hot sun, it can have a tendency to dry your hair out. So I call myself trying this method to moisturize my hair. And I did it twice, two times. I figured I would do it again. Well, because the oil was rancid, it made my hair feel like I had silicone or plastic on my hair. And I had to go get some shampoo, and I don't know how many times to get it out of my hair. So that was no way I could have known it was rancid, right? And it's interesting because flaxseed oil is it's a very, very delicate oil. It's an oil that you can put it in the refrigerator. It's a polyunsaturated, right? So it's an oil you can put in the freezer and the oil will still be very viscous or still maintain being a liquid, right? Here, the few months when it does get chilly, you'll notice that if you have coconut oil laying around, it will coagulate or become solid, right? So when you're working with the fresh foods and they're communicating with you and you see how the food behaves, that gives you somewhat of an idea of how the food will behave in your system. Fortunately, inside of our body, we have a temperature was at 98.7 degrees, so it's pretty warm in there. However, the oils that are hydrogenated or that are tampered with chemically for pastries and other things like that, sometimes even with the health food version of the health junk in the health food store, those things can still cause negative effects inside of the body. So I just caution you folks from years of experience, many folks and many chocolate folks and many folks in general endeavoring to become more plant-based, right, in our eating and our consumption. A lot of times we'll remove the meat but leave all the other stuff in here. Hey, greetings. So I just caution you, right? There's nothing like real life experience. You can read a million books, but it's nothing like having real life experience. So it's interesting, after this particular stint of eating plant-based and as a living foodist, right, for about 11 years, your taste buds can change. Your taste buds can change. Even if you're very addicted to junk food, I used to be a junk food junkie, your taste buds can change and there's lots of food to enjoy. So I've actually fallen out of love with oil, even the heavier oils, because now they taste very greasy to me. So I don't like a lot of oils. I'll rather do different things with nuts and seeds to make sauces and so on. So that being said, take home, rancid oils. It's not something that many of us think of. And even when we're using the oils and we get, let's say olive oil, we'll just think, oh, it's olive oil and it's cheap. We'll get the cheapest one at the store, at the discount store. But there is a difference when oils, when they're not fresh. Oils can go rancid. And flaxseed oil, again, is one of the lightest oils. And because it was rancid and I put it inside of my hair, it felt like plastic. So I was actually quite horrified, right? Because my hair can't take a lot, and it's like already 4 locks have broken off. So if that's any incentive for you folks to leave your hair alone. So again, I have this very fine hair. So here's my Loc Quickie today. And so this is something I discovered. I got a little bit of length, so I can do a little bit of a what you call it, a fish braid. So my hair at this point is semi-free form. It doesn't appear to grow very fast, but now I can see that all hair is growing, right? And so it hasn't been retwisted. I don't know in how long, and they have combined. So I'm one of those people that is extremely tender-headed. Like it's almost like my head hurts. It cannot take any kind of pulling, a whole lot of products, none of that. And because I like to exercise, or if I'm doing headstands or something on my head or yoga, if I have hair sitting here or in an uncomfortable spot, it's just like a turn off, and I don't want sweat in my face, and then I'm in the garden, right? So I have a moving, active lifestyle. So what I figured, I don't know if you can see from the back, right? So my hair is not very dense, which is another good reason for those folks to consider semi-free form. And if you have very, very fine hair, low maintenance at this point, want to be attractive, or find the styles also that work with my texture, my color hair, but that are very, very low maintenance, right? They can be natural, classy, and low maintenance, and not pulling on my hair, give me any pain, and I don't want any oil in my face. That being said, so what I'm doing, so it's not twisted at all down to the root. My head does not like to be twisted. So it's extremely clean because I had to wash it a gazillion times. So it's stripped down. So what I'm doing is I'm just finger combing it lightly, right? And all I'm doing is taking the hair, right? I didn't even know I could do a fish braid, right? So I'm taking one piece and then crossing it over the other. Then I take another piece from behind, right? This one is what they would call a dragon. And I twist it over. Now, when I bring it over, I'm putting it down in the middle, right? And I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to bring it over in the middle. And so the nice thing about this is nothing pulling on my hair. I would have never imagined that I could do a fish braid. So the other day I was just playing around and I was like, oh, it's a cool little fish braid. And it's not pulling on my hair at all, right? So all I'm doing is bringing one over like a braid, but the pattern of the braid looks different because I'm just bringing one over and I'm pushing it down in the middle. So it's kind of like of an inverted braid, but I've got like, I'm probably going to lose like 4 more locks, or at least the bottoms of the locks, right? Because that's the oldest part. So for all you fine-haired people out there, I can relate because our hair just can't take it. It cannot take the pulling or any of that. So this is it simply. And I don't like to do mine all the way down. So it's not pulling at my root or anything. Right now I don't have any oil, any product in my hair. Usually I don't use rubber bands. These are so, this is not really putting any indentation. So this is kind of light. And voila. And I'll wear it just like that. If anything, I may put a little water. Later, I'm going to make a little cucumber spritz. Hey, greetings, Jungle Cat. So yeah, that's it for my Loc Quickie. I am low maintenance, maybe some water. Before I was doing a period with some oil. And I'm back off the oil because I'm horrified. My hair does not like to be handled. So for those folks that have been on the channel, you know what today is? Today is Saturday. So I am in love with market. So I'm just going to share with you some of the goodies that I found from the farmers. So I do have a garden. My garden is revamping. So for any of those folks embarking on starting a garden, you don't be disheartened. You will start your garden over and over and over and over again. So right now, I have cilantro coming up. I have 2 bunches of bananas on the trees coming up. So maybe this will be like a third. No, this would be our 3rd and 4th bunch of bananas coming off the tree. I have pineapples that seem like they take forever to grow. Those are growing. I have plenty of sweet potato greens, thyme, rosemary. I have 2 bunches of collards that are coming back once again. A couple little pieces of lettuce. So other than that, everything else has to be revamped. And there are still the baby avocado trees, moringa, baby coconut, and fever grass or lemongrass. So in between that, yeah, and I don't know how much help you all have, but even a small garden, which to me might be small compared to other people's, I try to pack a lot in there, but it can be a lot of work. You know, composting daily. I got a huge bucket here that I use for composting, but because I'm eating all of this plant-based material, there's a lot to go in the compost, right? So I got a nice batch of scallions. So the nice thing when you get the fresh scallions from the farmer's market, I find that they're much more hardy. So I do have my own cilantro, but until, you know, I can stretch out what I have growing, or if it hasn't grown to maturity, I can stretch it out with things from the farmer's market. And I got this really beautiful bunch of scallions. I know in the States, the scallion bunches are so small and so teeny. So for the bunches like this, they'll charge you so much more. And then the bunches of scallions that I usually see at the Korean or Caribbean market, usually, you know, the ends are cut off. They just look much more tampered with. So these I'm getting right from one particular farmer. The same farmer gave me some dill. And the nice thing, if you grow your own, you only have to pick as much as you need, right? And then the rest of it, you can just leave and pick as you go. But if you buy the whole bunch, quite often, many of us find that we will have these things wasting. So I do have a video on the Body-Culinary channel called Extend the Life of Your Produce for you folks that, if any of you folks happen to be out there that let a lot of stuff go rotten in your refrigerator. So there is a video on how to extend the life of your produce, right? So you can manage your finances and you're not taking all that time shopping for food, lugging it home. I know I lug my stuff home usually on the bike. That's a lot of work, right? So I just got a bunch of lettuce from the farm, and I know they just picked it because all the dirt and stuff is still right on it. So that's a big bunch of dill, huge bunch of scallions. So this, maybe I'll crack this open. This is a treat. So this is passion fruit right now. Is in season. So I get the fruits as they're in season. This will probably cost me an arm and 4 legs in the States. And sometimes you can find this also in the purple variety. I got, let's see, my little recycle bags. What do I have in here? So I've got several water coconuts. So this man's coconuts, this particular farmer, same man and his wife come every week with some big gigantic kombucha squash and coconut. So this is a great deal. Usually I find these have more of a jelly in them, and then these will have more of a thicker meat in them. So this is not the hard meat of the old coconut, but still I can do different things with the meat from each of these coconuts, right? And especially if you're not using oil, for those folks that have very oily skin or very acne prone skin, or want to stray away from using oils and use more of the fresh fats, there's a lot that you can do with coconuts. So what else did we get today? We got some more pepitas. You know, I'm always encouraging men folk, eat your pepitas, in particular raw, right? Because of all the zinc in there. They're for males and females, but should be a staple for all the men folks out there, right? So the pepitas and unsalted. So you know the folks, you know, we have that little munching or that oral fixation. These are so good for you. And then remember, the natural oils inside will oxidize. So I get these untoasted and raw. So I have the maximum nutritional value. What else we have in here? Oh, a farmer got me a nice big bag. I don't know if it was almost 5 pounds of tomatoes. There's one of the grandpas at the market gave me 3 pounds of tomatoes for $2.50. So you tell me how much Roma tomatoes are. And let's see, I didn't get a big harvest the last time I grew up tomatoes. So tomatoes are found to be much more temperamental when they grow. And after the first, maybe I had 1.5 harvests. I don't know if it was bugs was eating them or something, but tomatoes are another staple. This one man got me a nice variety of some local sea moss, which that is a gift. I have my own. That's some gifting to a family member. And then I know this farmer, the one that gave me the dill, also gave me some arugula. So over here, these are grown locally, and I actually have coquitos, or I have raw peanuts. So either coquitas crudo is raw, right? Or tostada is the toasted. So I have these raw. So actually, these are very high in protein. They can be hard for some people to digest, and they're actually considered a legume. But it's a good, a really beautiful source of protein, especially if you prepare it well. So I do have these growing outside, and I'm actually growing these inside of a bag. So we had some visitors the other day, and so there was a young lady, a little girl that came, and you know, we were going through the garden looking at the different things we're growing. So this, I also have jengibre, or the ginger. I have this growing out inside the garden, right? So that's sprouting. Then always I have one farmer. She gives me a great deal on the local lime. So usually these will be orange on the inside, and they have a tremendous amount of seeds. So these grow really easy. So let's say she gave me like 10 of those for 50 cents US. There's another man that dries these, a family that dries these, and they also have spices. So pimento. or allspice as they're called. So I will make my own jerk seasoning live, and I like to make my own hot pepper sauce. So still in season, right? Because you know I love the seasonal fruits, and I can't stand to give me all this plastic, so I got to recycle these. This is the Malay apple. So I think I might have shown these before. This is a smaller variety, and the Malay apple, they look like a pear almost. They're not as sweet. So this is the Malay apple. Some people say Malay or Malay. I say Malay. So they're very white on the inside. I think I showed these before last week. But these are in season. So when they're in season, I just got 6 of these or 4 or 5 of these for 50 cents US. So some of these things you don't really find in the US because they're very perishable. And I'm sure people in the States, we want much more sugary, sweet fruit. Huh? Someone said before it looks like an avocado seed. But this particular fruit it's very floral. It tastes almost like a perfume. But it's not super duper sweet. And we don't always need to be chowing down on so much sweets anyway, right? So, what else did I get in here? Oh, more coconuts. So these things are super heavy, so this is a workout to get these home. So I got more coconuts. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this farmer, he charges me sometimes 50 cents or 75 cents for 1 coconut. So I think that's pretty good. So not a huge market haul today. Uh-oh, wait a minute. I must have got a whole bag. So one more farmer. So as you can see, you get much more food when it's fresh, and it's going to be much more satiating. So more with the recycled bags over here. I got these cucumbers, right? Sometimes it was the last week, the cucumbers went up to over $2 a pound, right? Or $1 US, which is still a fraction. And these are unwaxed, right? A lot of the nutrition is in the skin of the cucumber, really good for your skin and your hair. The silicone, it makes it like your hair very flexible and elastic. That's coming from the cucumber. And all you folks out there with water retention, cucumbers, pepinos, right? So the price went back down. One farmer, I managed to get them for 50 cents a pound. So sometimes I walk the whole market. And if I buy a bunch of stuff from one farmer, sometimes they just, I don't know, sometimes they give me stuff, maybe because I like the farmers. So, and then there's yet another farmer. He has some really beautiful stuff. So, you know, I ask him, like, is he using sprays and stuff? And he tells me no. On most things, he doesn't use spray. So I got bok choy. Some people say pak choy, you know, a pak toy. And there are also different varieties of this. So this is actually really, really high in calcium, right? So I know this farmer, his doesn't grow as big. But I'm fine with that because sometimes the smaller vegetables will have more flavor. And for folks that really don't have a palate, and please make an effort to reuse plastic bags. Like if someone does give me plastic, when I head out on the road, I usually always have a water bottle, a knife with a cover on it, a cloth napkin, and a plastic bag to cut my fruit up, put the peels or the pits inside of that, and even the compost. I will carry the compost back home and put it inside my yard, right? So I got about this huge bunch of, let's say cucumbers. I think he charged me $2.50. So all of this is just to illustrate, you know, number one, make use of whatever is available in your area because the price will go down. And so in the States, if you're in the coldest regions, you may find more really delicious varieties of apples. Like right now, I would love to have some New York State apples because there's such a variety. Shout out to the Park Slope Food Co-op. And I used to get some really good broccoli from local farmers there as well. But you make use of whatever is available growing in your area because the flavor is going to be so much better, and then the cost will go down. Your food bags will be very heavy, but the cost will go down and you'll be able to become satiated, which for many of us, sometimes we can eat and eat and eat and never seem to get full, right? That's because most of our body is water and we don't have a lot of water in the food. So I just wanted to share with you today. This is one of my favorite days of the week, market haul day, and that little Loc Quickie. If you found some value in the video, if you found it motivational, share it with somebody, because I have that type of hair that many people say that they hate, their hair. You know, young women, girls, say they hate their hair and they think they can't be creative with it. You know, I like nice styles, but I want low maintenance. I want to be able to sweat. I don't want to worry about sweating it out. You know, when it kinks up and does what it's inclined to do. That's the kind of hair I have. So we can be creative. If I want to dress it up, I can put some little gold, you know, I call it like gold, almost like a gold ribbon or string around it over here. But we can be creative. And then it's the market haul. So some people want an idea of how they can, you know, not spend so much money. So notice there's no products here. There's no products. This is all just the fresh food. Now, all you have to do is invest a bit of time in learning how to manipulate the textures, the flavors, and the presentation. Same way like you did, you know, when you learn how to prepare animal flesh. So I'm not one to tell grown folks what to do. I did grow up on meat. I was a junk food junkie. You have options that are available to you. Let your values guide your food choices, and the goals that you have for yourself and your quality of life guide your food choices. And then we can get past all the labels, because we don't need one more thing to divide us, right? Fruits and vegetables bring us together. So this is Body Culinary. Subscribe to the channel, share with someone, and create a great day on purpose. See you all soon.